students, in this video we will discuss the classification of Urochordata. The Urochordata having the first class, that is the Larvacea. These Larvacea are free-swimming pelagic forms, and the test or tunic is absent, and this tunic is temporary and it is renewed periodically. These, as the name suggests, the Larvicia, these are the neotenic form, and they never metamorphose and retain the larval form throughout the adult life. The posterior part of the body takes the form of large appendage, and that we called it as a tail, and as it doesn't metamorphose, it remains in the larval stage permanently. The notochord will persist throughout the life within the larval stage. The single pair of gill slit is present in these organisms, and the atrium is absent. The notochord, nerve cord, and the tail are persistent. Anus is opens ventrally on the surface of the body. The sexes are united, that is, both the reproductive structures, ovary as well as the testes, are present within a single organism, that we called it as a hermaphrodite, and there is no metamorphosis. Example is the oikopleura. This is the oikopleura, which is included under the what Urochordata and the first class, that is the Larvacea. This class Larvacea is again divided into two orders. The order one is called as a Endostylophora, and another order, that is the Polystylophora. The These orders are based on the house and the pharynx and the endostyle structure in them. The first in Oikopleura that we have just discussed, this is the exact organism Oikopleura, which is covered by the entirely house, and this, this house is bilaterally symmetrical with a separate inhalant and exhalant aperture, and pharynx with the endostyle. Example is the oikopleura. The second order in Larvacea is the Polystylophora. Example is the Kovalevskia, and this how in Kovalevskia the house is bilaterally symmetrical with a single aperture. In Endostylophora, the separate two apertures are there, one is inhalant and another one is exhalant, while in Polystylophora, single aperture is there, pharynx with endostyle and four longitudinal ciliated rows. This is the example of the Larvacea, and this is the Oikopleura, and this Oikopleura, this having the what the jelly-like house. This is the exact Oikopleura, and it is covered with the what that is a jelly-like house or the gelatinous house, and it remain permanently in the larval stage, and therefore they are called as a Larvacea. This Larvacea, or it is also called as a appendicularia. These are the planktonic organisms. Oval trunk and long thin tail is there, and the tail contains notochord. As it doesn't metamorphose, it remains permanently, and body is covered by the gelatinous layer, and but not the tail, and the tail is not covered with a gelatinous covering. The two orders, that is the Endostylophora and Polystylophora, that we have already discussed these two classes. The in Endostylophora, the two apertures are there, pharynx with the endostyle, and house is bilaterally symmetrical whereas in Polystylophora, house is bilaterally symmetrical but single aperture and pharynx without the endostyle. Example is the Larvicia. The second class under Urochordata, that is Acedacia. These Acedacia are the fixed or free-swimming marine forms. They are simple, solitary or the colonial forms. In Acedacia, the locomotory appendage or tail is absent in adult because tail gets shed off, and no traces of notochord remains in the adult. Why? Because the notochord was present in the tail region during the larval stage. The taste or tunic is permanent and well developed and thick. The branchial sac or pharynx is large and well developed, with its wall perforated by the numerous gills. These are bisexual, that means both the sex organs, that is the male and female, that is the testes and ovaries, are present within a same individual. Such individuals are called as hermaphrodites. Reproduction is both the type, that is asexual as well as sexual type. The life history includes typical tadpole larva, and larva is a free-swimming, highly developed, and it undergoes the retrogressive metamorphosis. If you observe this Acedacia class, it is divided into two orders. One is called as a Enterogona and another one is called as a Pleurogona. So first one is, we'll discuss about the Enterogona. These ascidians bears one gonad in the intestinal loop. If you observe this Siona or Ascidia, this having the word that is a one, that is the gonad in the word that is a intestinal loop. This is the intestinal loop, and within this intestinal loop there is a presence of the one ovary and the one testis, and these are the what? Hermaphrodite. This is a Ascidia and this one is a Siona. This is the neural gland is ventral to the ganglion. This is the neuronal gland which is ventral to the what, that is a ganglion. The body sometimes divided into thorax and the abdomen. The body which is divided into thorax region and the what, that is a abdominal region. And in this larva, these are the adult one, and the tadpole larva is seen, and these are the adult having the excellent aperture, inhalent aperture as well as the excellent aperture, and in the intestinal loop they having the one single ovary, and the what is having the what, the large pharyngeal region or the large pharyngeal region. Then the next, this is the Siona, same, this is the Siona in the habitat, and you can observe all these structures, that is this is the rectum, anus, from where the food material it goes to the what, that is the digestive system. This is the Acidicia in the what, that is this one is a excellent aperture and another incurrent aperture, and another one is a excellent aperture. These are the adults, and these adults are lacking the what? These adults are lacking the what? The uh, tail, and that tail possesses the what? The notochord. Then second order, that is a Pleurogona. Example is the Herdmania. In these ascidians, the gonads are paired and present in the atrial wall. In the Enterogona, the gonad was unpaired or the single, where in this Pleurogona, the gonads are paired and present in the atrial wall. This is the adult one, doesn't having the tail and doesn't having the notochord. The neural gland is dorsal to the ganglion, and body is compact and it is not divided. Example is the Herdmania and the Botrytis. These are the examples or the characteristics from the word, that is the Larvacea. Then the next, sorry, that is the Acedacia. The class 3, that is a Thalassia. These are free swimming pelagic form, and these are covered by the transparent tunic or the test covering. The branchial and the arterial aperture, that having the two aperture, incurrent and the excellent, are placed at anterior and the posterior end of the body. They are solitary or colonial, and musculature of the body wall, it is in the form of the circular bands. In the body wall, the muscles are in the form of the circular bands. The pharynx is small. Branchial sac has either too large or too many small gill slits. The tail and notochord is absent in adult. These are the bisexual animals that having the sexes united together. The asexual reproduction occurs by the budding and the tail larva. It may be present or absent in the life cycle, and the life cycle exhibits the alternation of generation. This Thalassia is divided into three orders. One is a Doliolida, another one is a Pyrosomida, and the third order is a Salpida. This is the first order, that is the what? The Pyrosomida. There is a no free-swimming larval stage in the what, that is a Pyrosomida. This is a colony of the Pyrosoma, and the second order is a Doliolida, the larva with the notochord present. Example is a Doliolum, and the order Salpida, the tailed larva is absent. Example is the Salpa. If you observe the stat order, that is a Doliolida or the Cyclomyria, what is the meaning of Cyclomyria? These are the 8 muscle bands in the doliolum, and these 8 muscle bands, these are in a 360 degree that completely encircles the body, and therefore the name, that is a cyclomyria. Instead, what, however, in the what another Thalassian group, that is the, this is the Hemimyria. Example is the Salpida. It is also called as a Hemimyria. Hemi means half, myria means muscle band. The muscle bands are not complete. These are incomplete from one side and complete from the another side, and that is called as a what? The hemimyria. The muscle bands are incomplete. So first one is what? That is among the what, this Thalassia. The first one is a what? The this Doliolida, or it is called as a Cyclomyria. Another one is called as a Hemimyria, and the third one is a what? Pyrosomida. And this Pyrosomida includes the what, that is a colony of the Pyrosoma. It having the what, that is a two siphons. One is a branchial siphon and another one is a attal. This is a single organism, or the single Pyrosoma, or the single Pyrosoma having the what, that is a testicle, ovaries, then vessel cavity, stomach, heart, all these organs of the, that is a Urochordata. This one is a what? Adult one. Then now what are the characteristics of the Doliolida? Doliolida or the cyclomyrians are barrel-shaped body and completely covered by the muscle bands. Pharynx is small. Number of gill slits are also small. Muscle bands are always complete surrounding the body, and the tailed larva is seen, and that tail possesses the notochord in there. And these sexual blastozoids and asexual oozoid stages alternate in the life cycle. The taste or tunic is moderately developed and never much thickened. Example is the doliolum. Second one is a Pyrosomida, and generally these are the pelagic forms and live in the colony. We can observe the what, that is a, this is a Pyrosoma colony, and this is a single Pyrosoma. They generally live in the what, that is a colony. The muscle bands are small and present at the ends. Gill slits are many, and the pre-swimming tailed larval stage is absent. The zooids of the colony are embedded in the common taste. Example is the pyrosoma. It is a phosphorescent or the bioluminescent, as it is a luminescent colonial form producing the what? The light, or generates the light. Then third order is a Salpida, or that we call it as a Hemimyria. This order include organisms whose body is prism-like and free-swimming. These are the pelagic form. The muscle bands are complete from the dorsal side, while the what on the ventral side, these muscle bands are not attached to each other. That is, they are incomplete, and therefore these are the Hemimyria. Only one pair of lateral gill slit is present. The tail larval stage is absent in during the development. Test or the tunic is well developed and transparent, and the life history it includes the alternation of generation. Example is the sulfur. So these are the three most important, that is the classes among the Thalassia.